Hey, what's up? Arkey here again. Welcome to this part 2 of how to make a ton of gold in World of Warcraft using the auction house. In this second part, I'll explain the details about what you should be doing at the auction house and how you should be doing it. And as I explain everything, I'll show you a few clips of myself applying all these tricks. I recorded all of this footage over 12 hours, and the result was actually pretty positive. I invested roughly 3.5k gold, and I doubled my investment over a single night. And at the end, I also had a lot of stuff left. I probably could have tripled my gold or even quadrupled my gold over another few nights. But yeah, this is only one night, 12 hours. Alright, so the basic idea behind playing the auction house is really simple. It's just like playing the stock markets. You buy stuff when it's cheap and you sell it when it's worth more. It's pretty simple, right? There's a third step in between. It's not required. It's optional, but it's recommended. You can transform whatever you buy using professions. I'll explain why. It's actually a really good idea if you want to maximize your profit. In order to do these things, you're going to need a lot of bag space. So if you don't have a lot of bag space, find some. You can ask, you can use your guild bank, you can use alts. You can also use your very own mailbox for additional storage. When I made 200k gold, I had my own private guild bank. So yeah, I had a lot of space to work with. So I was thinking about everything I've learned by trial and error since I started making gold, and I was able to write down 8 simple guidelines. So if you follow these 8 guidelines, you should be really good. Alright, so guideline number 1. Don't be afraid to invest a lot of gold in the market if you have to. After a while, you get to know all the prices, and you know when a price on a specific item is really low. And when this happens, don't be afraid to spend 5,000 gold or more if you have to. Worst case, the prices won't go back up for a few days, and you won't be able to invest that gold again for a while. But spending gold doesn't mean losing it. It means investing it. You still own it. It's just in a different form. So what I'm saying is take risks. That's how you make a lot of profit. Guideline number 2, maximizing your sales. Yeah, well, the key about selling a lot of stuff is to have a lot of variety. Don't focus on making a million times the same item. Focus on making a million different items. The reason for that is if you have 600 auctions up of 600 different types of items, there's no way you're not going to sell anything at all. But yeah, don't start with 600 items. Start smaller. Focus on one specific area of the market and get used to the prices and just grow over time as you get to know the prices. Guideline number 3, flooding the auction house. Yeah, don't flood the auction house. I've actually received some blackmail for doing it before. If you have 100 times the same item, don't post them all one shot. Don't post more than a few stacks of the same item. Put up a limited amount of items. By flooding the auction house, you're creating abundance of items. You're increasing the offer, so eventually the prices will go down. And the other reason is, if you keep a certain amount of items for yourself, well, you can quickly respond to people undercutting you. Guideline number 4, which items should you buy? Well, you should pick an area of the market based on the professions you have access to. It could be your own tune, it could be your alt, your guildie's profession, or a friend's profession. If you don't have any friends, well, you can always find people in trade chat. Just make sure you tip them well, and they'll be willing to help you again afterwards. Just add them to your friends list or something if you think you'll need them again. Guideline number 5. How long should I post my auctions for? Well, some areas of the market need to be approached in a different way. To make it simple, let's separate all the possible item categories into 2 groups, high demand items and low demand items. High demand items are always on the auction house. In order to stay competitive, you need to refresh your auctions as often as possible. Your potential profit is slightly higher when selling these items, since you can potentially sell a lot more. These items include flasks, epic gems, glyphs, food buffs, trade goods, and others. These items should always be posted on auction house for 12 hours, and like I said, you should refresh them as often as possible. Lower demand items won't sell as fast. You might have to refresh them 2, 3, 4 times, but you can post them for longer periods like 24 hours or even 48 hours. These items include blue and green leveling gear, profession power leveling items, uncommon craftable items, lower level enchanting scrolls, and many more. By selling these items, you're a lot less vulnerable to other people undercutting you, since you'll most likely have a monopoly. Guideline number 6. How do you know if it's a good time to buy or to sell? Well, over time, you'll learn the average pricing of the items you're dealing in, and you'll get used to the market fluctuation. You'll be able to estimate your potential profit just by looking at the prices. A lot of factors influence the price of an item, such as your server population, the offer, the demand, the time of the day of the week, the server's time zone, and many more. For this reason, it's impossible to tell you exactly if you're making a good deal or not without experience. However, there are two things you should do the first few times you play auction house. Don't invest too much money, and by that I mean start with smaller stacks. And the other thing is, if you're going to transform something using a profession, well, do the math before you invest. See if the current pricing for the final product will bring you immediate profit. So basically, don't waste 50 gold to make a flask you know that's going to sell for 40. You get the idea. Guideline number 7. How do you choose a good selling price? Well, set up your AuctionLite to undercut the lowest offer by a fixed 1 silver. But every time you post something, double check the listing before. See if it's really worth undercutting the lowest guy. If you look at this footage carefully, you'll notice I don't always undercut the very first offer. If I know his auctions are going to sell really fast, I decide not to undercut the lowest seller, since he's selling a very small quantity of items, and undercutting the second guy will actually provide me with a much higher profit margin. And finally, guideline number 8. Be creative. Use online resources like Wowhead. If you have a lot of one item, try to transform it into something else. You can transform cloth into enchanting dust or even enchanting scrolls with the help of a few professions. I remember a while back I bought about 500 common quality yellow gems for a very good price, and I made necklaces with them and then sold half of them as leveling items and the other half as enchanting scrolls. So yeah, you can pretty much make anything out of anything. You just need a little creativity. So that's it for now. These are all the guidelines you should probably follow. Good luck with making a lot of gold. Thanks a lot for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more. If you have any questions, go ahead and post a comment. And thanks for watching. Peace out.